What's up guys, I'm Jads, I stream on Twitch, and in this video I'm going to be talking about everyone's favorite event, Toxic Fallout. So if you've never had it before, basically it's this event where this distant chemical fire has released a plume of poison over the entire region, and so all these particles, they look like snow, rain down upon your colony, and they are toxic. Now it lasts between 2.5 to 10.5 days, so if your colony is well prepared, it's pretty easy to handle. However, if you're still living what I like to call paycheck to paycheck with your colony, then a toxic fallout approaching the longer end of that range can be really challenging. How does this affect your map? Well, most importantly, it's going to give all animals and pawns that are exposed to it an ailment called toxic buildup. Toxic buildup is a health condition that appears in stages from initial, which is between 4 and 20%, to minor, which is between 20 and 40%, moderate, which is 40 to 60, serious, which is 60 to 80, and then extreme, which is 80 to 100. And like other diseases and infections in Rimworld, if toxic buildup reaches 100% in your pawn, that pawn is going to die. This toxic buildup in pawns will increase at a rate of about 1.6% per hour, which totals 38% per day. It is about half that rate in animals. Once you are safely back under a roof, that toxic buildup is going to begin to drop back down at a rate of about 8% per day. Now, I already mentioned that of course your pawn will die if their toxic buildup reaches 100%, but there's actually some negative effects of it way before then. So at the initial and minor stages, your pawn will just have slightly reduced consciousness, but as soon as they hit moderate toxic buildup, they have a risk of developing dementia or carcinoma, and obviously this risk increases as toxic buildup increases. Alright, so that brings us to the point of this video, which is how the heck to handle toxic fallout. So let's say you just got this event and you're not prepared at all. First up, you have about 3 in-game hours before your pawns are going to show that initial toxic buildup in their health tab. Now, if you have a bunch of food stockpiled, like you think you're going to be good for 11 days, you don't really need to do anything except restrict all your pawns and tame animals to an area that is fully roofed. So if you're not sure how to do that, here's how. You're going to go into zones, pick build roof area, and you're going to drag where you want your pawns to build a roof over. You will need supports to build out over areas like here where there's no walls nearby. I used pillars. Make sure you put those up first or your pawn will not build the roof. And once you have all your pathways covered, you're going to go back to areas and you're going to create a new area. You can name it whatever you want. I named mine Fallout. And then I'm going to have that area be the exact same as my roofed area. This way, when I later go into the schedule tab, I can assign all my pawns to that area and they will stay beneath a roof at all times. But what if you do not have enough food stockpiled to get you through this toxic fallout? The first thing you're going to want to do is hunt every animal on your map. And this is because once an animal's toxic buildup reaches moderate, as soon as they die, their body will rot instantly. So you're going to want to hunt them all before they get too sick. So since animals gain toxic buildup at a slower rate than pawns, you have about 2 days from the start of toxic fallout to when all your animals will basically be completely unhuntable. Now, if you have pen animals, you're going to want to make sure that they have a covered area to go under as well. They will automatically go under it as long as the toxic fallout is active, and make sure that they have a stockpile of feed in there. If you do not have food for them, another solution is to take them all on a caravan, just 1 or 2 tiles over, as you can see my pawn doing here. As long as you're in a season and a biome where they're able to graze, they will be able to kind of eat on the go, and you do not need to provide food for them. Now, as far as crops go, if you already have hydroponics set up or an indoor grow room, you're already good to go. But in a pinch, you can also just throw a roof down over a crop field and put a sun lamp out there if you have enough electricity to do that. Even if you don't do this, some of your crops will survive, just a very low amount. I did a little experiment with 2 fields, each of 100 tiles of rice, and found that if no one, re-sowed anything, by the end of toxic fallout, we got way lower yield. So each of these fields ended up yielding about 110 rice compared to the 800 average that they would have yielded if fallout was not going on. Now, undoubtedly, during the course of toxic fallout, your ponds are going to have to do some work that isn't covered by a roof. So the most important tip is that you're going to have to rotate ponds in and out of this fallout zone, making sure to keep tabs on everyone's health so that nobody gets over that 40% and risks more serious health complications. So let's say fallout has not actually struck your colony yet, but you just would like to be prepared. The most important things that you can do ahead of time are: make sure to have at least 11 days of food stockpiled, have a covered greenhouse or indoor grow room already built, connect all buildings in your base with columns and roofs to save time, make sure all of your pens have a barn where animals can take shelter, set up your covered area so that if fallout strikes, you can immediately assign everyone to it, and make sure you produce enough electricity to cover a sun lamp if necessary. So that's it for my tips on how to survive toxic fallout. I'm pretty sure the first time I ever got it in a game, everyone starved to death, but I've come a long way since then. So let me know down in the comments if you've experienced something similar or if you have any more advice about how to handle it. As always, thanks so much for watching, and I'll catch you next time.